Namaskar, and our reading from Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, the Bengali Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jeevanam Kavibhiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhuvigrunantiye Bhurida Janaha. Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita Pratham Bhag Pratham Khondo Tritiyo Parichhed Dvitiyo Darshan O Guru Shishyo Sambad. So last time we have seen the second visit of Sri M to Sri Ramakrishna. At the end of the first visit, when Sri M was taking leave of Sri Ramakrishna had asked him, Abarisho, come again. And Sri M was so much fascinated by this wonderful persona of Sri Ramakrishna. All the time he was wondering, how can a man without reading any books, any scriptures, any texts be so knowledgeable? Because Sri M was college educated, he was himself a scholar. And he had felt such a great attraction towards Master right in the first visit that he justified his intention, his desire, his wish of going back to Sri Ramakrishna when he remembered Sri Ramakrishna's words, Abaresho, and he himself, yes, he has also asked me to come again. Well, I will come. I'll definitely come to this place, maybe tomorrow or day after, some morning. And likewise, Sri M landed up at Dakshineshwar in Thakur's room, near Thakur's room, when Thakur was, about to get his hair cut. The barber had come. That happened in the southeast veranda. And Thakur had asked him, where do you stay? Where you have come from right now? Ekhane kothaye eshecho? And Sri M had replied, I have come from Barahanagar, from my elder sister's home, Ishan Kabirajir Badi, the house of Ved, Ayurvedic Ved, Ishan. And Sri Ramakrishna knew Ishan, and he exclaimed, Ishan's house. Very good, very good. And then the talk further went on. And let us see what has happened in the next talk. Sri Keshav Chandra Sen O Mar Kache Thakurer Krondon. Thakur cried to the Divine Mother for Keshav Chandra Sen. Apparently Keshav Chandra Sen is not well. His health is in bad condition. Sri Ramakrishna. Haga. কেশব কেমন আছে? বড় অসুখ হয়েছিল। মাস্টার, আমিও শুনেছিলুম বটে, এখন বোধ হয় ভালো আছে। শ্রী রামকৃষ্ণ, আমি আবার কেশবের জন্য মার কাছে ডাব চিনি মেনেছিল। শেষ রাত্রে ঘুমো ভেঙে যেত আর মার কাছে কাঁদতুম, বলতুম, মা, কেশবের অসুখ ভাল করে দাও। কেশব না থাকলে আমি কলকাতায় গেলে কার সঙ্গে কথা কব? তাই ডাব চিনি মেনেছিল। হ্যাঁ গা, কুক সাহেব নাকি একজন এসেছে, সে নাকি লেকচার দিচ্ছে। আমাকে কেশব জাহাজে তুলে নিয়ে গেছিল। কুক সাহেবও ছিল। মাস্টার, আজ্ঞা এই এরকম শুনেছিলুম বটে, কিন্তু আমি তার লেকচার শুনি নাই। আমি তার বিষয়ে বিশেষ জানি না। So as the talk progressed, Sri Ramakrishna expressed his eagerness, earnestness, his worry over the health of Sri Keshav Chandra Sen, the great Brahmo leader, who had during these times uh, started developing a great devotion towards Sri Ramakrishna. And as we had seen in the during the first meeting of Sri M, when he had mentioned his first visit happened 3 days after the incident of Keshav Chandra Sen taking Sri Ramakrishna on to the steamer and midway Ganges, and then they had a talk. So Sri Ramakrishna was very much uh, familiar with Keshav Chandra Sen. Keshav Chandra Sen was very much attracted and attached and quite devoted for that matter. Although being a Brahmo, devotion to somebody, some person as such, or some god is not acceptable in the Brahmo way of teaching. But still, Keshav Sen had become a great admirer of Sri Ramakrishna. He was not well, and Thakur expressed his anxiety. And he asked, how is Keshav? Keshav kemon ache? He was very sick. He was very ill. Sri M replied, Amio শুনেছিলুম বটে. I also heard it, but now I think he is feeling better. And then Sri Ramakrishna further expressed his anxiousness about the whole incident of Keshav being not well. He says, Thakur says, I have made a vow to worship the Divine Mother. I have prayed to her. I will offer you tender coconut and sugar. Please recover Keshav. Please make him well, O Mother. If Keshav is not there, with whom I will talk after going to Calcutta? Thakur had completed his 12 years of rigorous sadhana. He had attained the ultimate illumination. And being a nature of a great knower, a great seer, he wanted to share his experiences, his teachings with the people. Not just he himself enjoying the ultimate goal of the worship, ultimate goal of the spiritual practice. Not for himself. All his sadhana was to bring illumination, to bring the spiritual illumination among the people, downtrodden people who were so much restless for the ultimate bliss. And that's why when Keshav Sen started coming to Thakur, started coming to Sri Ramakrishna, he could express, he could share his intensity of devotion to Divine Mother with somebody. And he wanted people to take up that kind of devotion. And that's why he prayed to the Divine Mother, Mother, please make Keshav well. Look at his anxiety. Look at his concern for the spiritual illumination of people. A person like Sri Ramakrishna, having reached the ultimate end point of enlightenment, He could have very well sat himself totally cut off from the world and enjoyed being in that divine Satchidananda, the eternal knowledge, the eternal existence, eternal knowledge, eternal bliss, absolute. But his advent was not to enjoy these uh, realizations just for himself. He wanted to share them, he wanted to distribute it freely, to tell people, Chaitanya ho, let you gain the spiritual illumination. And that's why he had made a vow to the Divine Mother that you make Keshav Chandra saying, well, I will give you tender coconut. I will offer you tender coconut and sugar. Mannat mani thi. Like in Marathi we say, Navas bolle hote. So he had made an exchange offer with the Divine Mother. For a person like Sri Ramakrishna, for an incarnation, this was not basically a bargain because he had reached the level of eternity. So it was just some kind of offering to be made to the Divine Mother in exchange of making Sri Keshav Chandra Sen well again. Then Sri Ramakrishna asks him, do you know one Mr. Cook? Uh, I heard he gives a lot of lectures. When Keshav had taken me on his steamer, Cook Sahab, Mr. Cook was also there. And Master says, I have also heard about him, but I have not heard any of his lectures. So I don't know much about him. So this, after the preliminary inquiries from M about his where is he staying and all, then Thakur expressed to M his concern over Keshav Chandra Sen's health. And even this small incident must have created a great impact in the mind of Sri M, which later resulted in developing such a strong bond, such a strong affection between Sri M and Sri Thakur, such a strong relationship of a disciple and the Guru. How much concern! I mean, Keshav Chandra Sen was all, for all that matter, he was a world renowned person. Thakur was just a mad priest of Dakshineshwar Kali temple. He was a known entity at that point of time. But even a renowned person like Keshav Sen paying so much of respect and admiration to Sri Ramakrishna, all these things must have contributed in developing some kind of feelings for Sri Ramakrishna in the mind of Sri M. So while reading, we feel these incidents to be small, but they have a big contribution in building up this relationship of disciple and the Guru, and which in turn has resulted in Sri M gifting to us Ramakrishna Kathamrita. So we stop our reading over here. Tomorrow we will start with Thakur's advice on duties of a householder towards his parents. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.